Welcome back to Callahan's Corner. Yes, a question is answered live right here on Facebook. Had a lot of people asking, Mike, I'm in this transition right now in the season. The majority of my crews are at capacity. We've heard about this surge pricing in the home cleaning industry. Would this apply in the lawn care industry? Absolutely believe it will. Personally, probably really introduced me to this concept. Got to give credit where credit's due is Debbie Sardone of CBF Cleaning Business Fundamentals, running a multi-seven-figure cleaning business out of Louisville, Texas, as well as one of the top cleaning consultants in the United States. But I'm going to show you how this applies to your lawn care landscape company and how to actually utilize Service Autopilot to be able to delegate the actual increase. So once again, we're at a point right now where we're almost full, or we're full, and we want to actually see what the market will bear price-wise. There is no better time to do it, in my opinion. So let's hop in. First thing we want to look at is to make this fully delegatable. We've kind of talked about the when. We want to be able to do this when we're just about at capacity and we're wanting to see if our price increases will sit and what the market will actually bear. So if we don't win some of these accounts, not a big deal. We're at capacity. Or if you're starting to build additional work at a higher price as we're about to go in and invest in a new crew, perfect time to do that. First thing is if you're inside Service Autopilot under the gear icon services, want to go in and make sure we have a production rate based estimating system set up. So in this example, it's turf square footage. Our base price to show up is $65. We budgeted for one person, 0.75 man hours, which is 45 minutes, and it's costing us 41. So the difference between the 41 and the 65 is our net profit. Each additional 1,000 square feet after the first 5,000. We're going to charge an extra $3.75. 0.05 hours, and it's costing us $2.84 before we make a profit. So now we've hit this point. We want to see what the market will bear for new pricing and what a price increase of 10, 15, maybe 20% will do. We have our pricing matrices set in the back of the system. When we go in now, we're going to go in and actually add a new lead in and walk through what this looks like. So we're going to go in and literally pick up the phone on our office when they call, and we're going to type in their address as we're having a conversation with them. We may be asking if they've hired a professional before. How soon do they need the service? We're going to qualify them as we go through this process. But in the meantime, we're putting in their information here and their email, so we can email it out to them if we don't close them over the phone, and their phone number in the cell phone field. So those are the main things we need to get on the first page here. I also recommend going in and segmenting the account type commercial and residential, because maybe we're only doing a price increase on residential to test out our surge pricing. Because once again, the business owner, we're not doing this. We're going to allow our team to do this. And our sales sources, they heard about us from the Every Door Direct mailing. So once we hit save, we're in business. Our office now is doing this exact step, and we are giving them instructions to test a 15% surge increase. So we're going to do property measurements here, and the team in the office is going to go in and measure this property. Now, remember, we've got pricing matrices that are sitting behind this that is going to allow the estimating to be delegated to anybody on your team, in the office, virtual assistant, halfway around the world, doesn't really matter. And we'll double click that. Boom, we've got our turf square footage. We'd probably want to color that in. And we'd go in and save this under turf square footage right here, not embed. Let's grab turf right there and hit save. Now we've measured our turf square footage of the property. We're going to go hit add an estimate. And this is where our team can go in and actually create our surge pricing. So we're going to have a templated out example here. And we're going to go in and grab our template. Now, what we've got here is for the 9,400 square feet, fictitiously, we're charging $30. That's not the exact matrix I showed you in the example, but this example will show exactly what we need to do. But we're saying fictitiously 9,400 square feet for $30. 0.4 man hours, it's costing us $14.76. Our net profit is 50.8. So we want to keep an eye on that, because now what we're going to do is go into the quantity and say, if we want a 15% increase, 1.15, see what happens here. That 30 stays the same, but the client now is getting charged an extra 15% or $4.50. Budgeted time and cost stay the same, but now we will go in and have a higher profit margin. So this is how we can actually tackle this out. If you're looking for postal codes or drive zones, if we went in and said if we're in the 14534 zip code, I could put the number 1 in here. That would charge an additional $8.09, 0.16 man hours, and a cost of $5.91. So all in, on-site, drive time if you haven't included your overhead number. Hopefully you've worked with a financial consultant or Simple Growth to get your break even that includes your non-billable drive time. But if you did want to add additional drive time or surcharge costs, you could. Main idea here is that we're going to manipulate the quantity, say to 1.2 now. That bumps it up 20% from 30 to 36. So that's how we're going to play that out. And that's how you create surge pricing. So if you're getting to the point where you want to see if a higher price will play in your market, highly suggest you build your matrices behind the service here, and then go in and enable your team with some instructions to say 1.2 or 1.15. 1.15 is going to be 15%. 1.2 is a 20%. 20% increase on $30 real is only $36. So let's say in this example, it was probably a little more realistic of 65 to $75. That takes you 65 to 70 to cut at 20%. So I'd probably go 1.15, test out a 15% increase. That gets you at $74.75. So Callahan's Corner, you ask questions, answer them live right here on Facebook. How to actually create surge pricing to see when or what your market will actually support as a price increase when you're fully booked or just about to be fully booked. And you can delegate this to your team. So if you want to see what your market will bear price-wise, use this quantity field to manipulate a percent. And that will give you an idea of what the market will bear pricing-wise. Callahan's Corner, you ask the questions, answer them live right